Right, welcome, guys. So, on today's video, what I'm really going to be speaking about is why it's so much harder to generate quality leads now than what it was 30, 40 years ago. And I'm also going to give you some strategies to generate quality leads now where it's not as hard, but a lot easier than industry standards, if that makes sense. But, anyways, guys, before I get started, welcome, guys. Welcome to my video. My name is Wandilia. I've helped hundreds of real estate agents secure quality leads, but ultimately getting them appointments with motivated and distressed sellers, as well as qualified buyers, all on autopilot using AI. If you want to find out more information, go check out the description or continue watching the video. I've got some links as well in this if you would like to find out more information about how we do this for our clients. But just to jump straight into it, this is what I've noticed as to why it's harder to generate quality leads now, because I'm seeing that this is a big issue in this industry. So, first things first, one thing I really want to dive into is the fact that this industry is a low barrier to entry industry. So, what that essentially means is it doesn't take quite a lot for you to join the industry, right? You could be unemployed, you could just you could just graduate from high school and you could have no degree whatsoever and you can join the industry, right? There's obviously some processes in place for you to join, but it's a low barrier to entry compared to the law faculty or the medical industry. You need to study 4 to 8 to 10 years to essentially get your qualification, and even then you're still not experienced because you still need to then put in your hours, similar to being a pilot. Those are industries that are difficult to penetrate purely because it's not a low barrier to entry industry. Compared to real estate, anyone can literally become an agent. And I think that's one of the big things that I'm noticing right now is that there's more and more people who are joining the industry, who are watching your programs like you're selling Sunset, listing Jozi, listing Cape Town, depending where you are, $1 million real estate. They see all the glamorized part of real estate, and they all assume that it's going to be easy just to sell homes and then make millions in commission, but they don't realize that that's not the case. It makes it much more difficult because the more agents that are joining, then there's a big issue, and I'm going to speak about it in the third point. So another thing I realized as to why it's harder to generate quality leads now is because it's boomer and Gen X dominated. So what I essentially mean by that is the industry is dominated by baby boomers and those who are Gen Xers. Baby boomers are those who are, I'd say, about over 70 plus, if I'm not mistaken, and the Gen Xers are from the ages of about, if I'm not mistaken, about 45 up until 70 or 60 plus. Now, within that generation, they didn't live in a modern society. What I mean by that is technology then was still in its infancy stage. There was no internet, there was no smartphones, there was no social media, there was none of that, right? So how business was conducted in the industrial industry was through building relationships, right? Was through going door to door, sending flyers, cold calling. That was literally the way that the market operated, and it worked back then, right? But the more technology comes into space, I mean, now that AI has officially been commercialized in the social media, and there's a way for us to connect digitally, boomers and Gen Xers aren't familiar with that. And what I've noticed is because they're not familiar with that, they don't try it out or they don't utilize it in their day to day. However, it's very ironic that they've got cell phones, they've got smartphones, they're on social media, right? They live in a modern society, yet in their industry, it's still Gen X and boomer, or rather say Gen X and boomer dominated, which means that we're still living in the Stone Age, which is interesting. And that's leading me to my next point, which is that this industry has hit a ceiling. We've honestly hit a wall because of the lack of innovation. Most people are being taught, right, to cold call and to go door to door. And don't get me wrong, those methods still work, but it makes it harder. Why? Because of the low barrier to entry, right? Because there's more and more people entering the industry, and because it's dominated by the Gen Xers and baby boomers, they don't know any better. All they're essentially just telling people, and the trainings that they're providing on a day-to-day basis is cold call, go door to door, right? Even all the books that are there, right? Of course, there are different books, but majority of the books which were dominated by the Gen Xers and baby boomers, for example, if you're looking at the Keller Williams leader, Mr. Gary Keller. All right, he's a Gen X, okay, and all the strategies he provides in his book is more focused on the traditional old school mindset, right? And that's the issue I'm having right now in this industry, is that it's hit a ceiling. We've hit a wall because there's lack of innovation, guys. There's automations, there's AI, there's social media, there's the digital world has really shifted and shaped the way that we do business now. And the issue I'm noticing is that modern society are forward thinkers, right? We're consistently adapting and evolving and learning new technologies and getting used to new evolving technology. But this industry is still stuck in the 80s. This industry is still stuck in the 70s. And that's the reason why it's harder to generate quality leads now, because of the boomers and the Gen Xers. They are essentially gatekeeping the industry from growing and succeeding because of their lack of technology forward thinking in their mindset. That's what I'm seeing, and that's what I'm noticing. And because of that, what does that do? It essentially produces industry replicas. So what I mean by that is everyone is literally a product of the same training, because everyone is doing the exact same thing, which makes it very difficult for you as an agent to stand out, because you're literally just a replica. You're a replica. You are no different than any other agent, because everyone is saying the same thing. Everyone is cold calling. Everyone is going door to door. And let's say you manage to get the listing appointment. What are you going to say in that listing appointment? All right. Oh, well, I'm going to put your property in P24. We're going to market here. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. But everyone is saying the same thing. And now it makes it very hard for the seller or for the buyer as well to see who to work with, because it's like, if everyone is selling milk and the milk essentially generally tastes the same, which milk are you going to go with? 9 times out of 10, you're going to go with the cheaper milk, unless you've got a really great relationship with a quality milk. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to go for the cheaper milk, just purely because of the quote-unquote hard times that we're experiencing right now. So that's why it's a lot harder to generate quality leads right now, because of the low barrier to entry. Every person is becoming an agent now, and it's easy to become an agent. And because it's dominated by the boomers and the Gen Xers, they've hit a wall. They don't want to innovate because they're scared of innovation. They feel that they're not good with technology, and because of that, the industry's hit a ceiling, which makes it very hard. However, there's always an opportunity, even in where we are right now. And I'm going to walk you through some strategies to generate quality leads. So, number one, if you want to generate quality leads, you have to be different. So you have to start looking in a different direction that everyone is going towards. Okay. So what I mean by that is, if people are running away from technology because it's boom and Gen X dominated, then you need to start looking into technology. So when everyone is going left, away from technology, you want to move towards it. Not only why, I'll tell you why, because it's going to save you time, effort, and money. All right. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the beauty around running ads and using AI and automation to essentially qualify leads and get them to book appointments with you is that it's like, I always like to make the analogy of hand washing versus the washing machine, right? We all use washing machines. Why? Because it allows us to save us time and effort. If you've ever hand washed in your life, you would know exactly how much time and effort that takes. So we have washing machines to then essentially do the entire work for us without us having to lift a finger. And on top of that, it's got tumble drying features, which allows it to dry the clothes at the same time. Now, what I'm seeing is that you have people who are living in this generation where we're all using washing machines, or we all have washing machines, but people are still choosing to hand wash. So that's why I'm saying that AI, social media, and automation is the washing machine option, because it's allowing you to do things in an automated manner without having to stick to the traditional old school strategies of doing things. So number one, posting content online is important. Not just any content, and I want to really just create a little bit of some strategy here. Is not just any content. You want to create pain-driven content that's going to help your audience essentially understand or provide a solution to the main pain points that they're experiencing right now in their life. The next thing as well that you want to do is you want to run targeted ads to homeowners in your area that are either in the mindset of purchasing a property or are looking to purchase a property, right? So they're either thinking about buying a property or selling, or they are ready to either buy or sell. And the nice thing about the algorithm is that it's going to find the right people for you. And then once you utilize tools like AI and automation, what it can do then is that it can then prospect the leads for you. It's going to filter and qualify those leads for you, so you can ask them qualifying questions. And then what it's going to do is that it's going to get them to book an appointment with you all online. And that's the beauty behind it. Another way for you to generate quality leads now is by essentially creating a personal brand that's going to resonate with your market. Okay, I don't see agents creating good brands online, personal brands, not replicating everyone else or using Keller Williams or C for EXP or the brand brokerage, but using themselves as a brand. So ultimately creating content that's helping their market, pain driven content, creating informational content that's not just posting listings every day, but actually creating updates on the market, right? Going to visit restaurants in the area and giving advice on those restaurants, going to the schools, going to parks, and essentially just creating content around that, helping educate people, learning more about the neighborhood, or adding value according to what are some of the things that they can do in the neighborhood or special highlights of the area, just to showcase that you care about the market, you care about the area, and you're also an agent who's there to create pain-driven content. So if you guys want me to create more specific examples to show you how it looks step by step, let me know. But I hope this helps, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.